Hello to all my friends out there. Hi, you guys. I hope everyone is doing okay. So this video is 20 ways to combat rising food costs. And I thought, well, what I would do on this video is I would go over a lot of the things that I have been making videos on for the last 5 years. I have a lot of new subscribers, and welcome to all the newbies, and I have a lot of old subscribers, and thank you for hanging in there. So let's just get started here. 20 ways to combat the rising food costs. Do I think the price of food is rising? Yes. But even if it's not rising, if we can find ways to, eat cheaper, why not? Okay, number 1, stockpile food. I think that is probably the best way. If you stockpile food you eat all the time, you're going to avoid running out of food. That's the main reason. And if you stockpile food you eat all the time, then you can just eat it down and then replenish it little by little. And then that way you can go 1 day without buying food. You can go 1 week without buying much food. You can go 1 month without buying much food. You can go 3 months, 6 months, and a year. Just by stockpiling food you eat all the time. Nothing weird, food you eat all the time. Let me give you an example. Mainly you want to stockpile non-perishable food. You want to stockpile non-perishable food for a couple reasons. It might be possible that to cut down on food production, they will be selling less canned food. So anyway, you want to create a stockpile. By having a stockpile, you can wait for sales or good deals. And then one of the biggest reasons for stockpiling food is to prepare for a disaster, whether it's an epidemic, whether it's some kind of bad economic situation like a recession. So number 1, stockpile food. Number 2, create a meal plan. If you create a meal plan, or you have like a general idea of meal plans in your mind, your meals will be more nutritious and you will have more complete meals. Examples would be breakfast cereal and milk or burrito for breakfast, lunch sandwich, fruit, cookies, and tea, and dinner would be meat, potatoes or sweet potatoes or rice, vegetables, fruit, milk, and butter. That's just basic. Okay, number 3 is dehydration. Okay, if they stop selling so much cans, we need to know how to dehydrate so we can stockpile. Start learning to stockpile so that you don't ever catch yourself in a position of no food. So you're dehydrating to avoid running out of food, out of fruit and vegetables, and you can dehydrate meat. Avoid wasting, so you don't waste your food, and prepare for the future. So when you have this dehydrated food, then you can eat that down and you don't have to buy more food. Like when fruit and vegetables are in season, you can, like tomatoes, if you planted tomatoes, you can dehydrate those. I'm not very good at it yet, but I'm working on it. Okay, number 4, sequester 1 half-eaten packages. So you want to get all your packages that have been eaten, and you want to put them in a cupboard or in boxes, And then what you want to do is you want to eat them down before opening more packages. Another thing is they're bulking up the cupboards, and you might be thinking you have more food than you do. And you can avoid wasting by eating it all down. And you can save money by eating it all down. And then you can use once you sequester all your food, you get it all together, then you can prepare your meal plans using the food that you have. And if you do that, it's quite possible you really won't have to buy that much food. Number 5, make big batches. Okay, when you're making big batches, you think of spaghetti, chili, soup, roasts, but you could also do it in like big burritos. I've been doing that for a couple days. That would actually be enough for 2 meals, or like, in the fast food places where they have the deal on 2 sandwiches, you can make yourself 2 hamburgers, and you could make big batches. You can make your food for a week. You could barbecue all the meat and then keep it in the refrigerator. Okay, number 6, find cheaper ways to make food you like. I mean, ways that's not going to diminish your liking of the food that much. Like if you make hamburger burritos, you fry your hamburgers and you use your taco mix. One way you could make it cheaper is you can make refried beans, and you can put your refried beans on the bottom and your meat on the top. That way you're having a nice big burrito, but it's cheaper than all meat. You can leave things out like mushrooms, celery, walnuts, olives, and cheese. In the case of refried beans, you can use evaporated milk in your refried beans in place of cheese. And people used to do that. I think a lot of things people didn't make known because they were embarrassed, but it's really important to know. Okay, number 7, buy marked down food or food on sale. I will give you an example. I bought 2 of these, 10 of these, is it 10? Yeah, 10 of these pouches of milk at a grocery outlet for $1.99, used by February 3rd, 2019. So they're a little bit expired, but they'll be fine in the pouches. So, be looking around saying, what, looking for deals, buying marked down food and food on sale. I'll show you something. Okay, so I like to eat donuts and cookies. So I bought these cookies. These were $6 cookies, and I bought them marked down for $3, so they were 25 cents each. And this is a big box of $6 donuts, and I bought them for $3, so half price. So those were 25 cents each. So I found food I like marked down and on sale. And then that way, instead of going to the donut shop, I have a month's worth of donuts, and they're really cheap. Okay, number 8, eat more fruit and veggies. So you might be thinking, well, yeah, that's true, but who wants to do that? But what you could do is you could fill your plate with half fruit or veggies, or fruit and veggies, like 3/4 of a salad and a 1/4 cup of some diced fruit. You could have your meat and a big pile of onion rings, a big pile of fried zucchini, that's veggies, a salad. You could have 2 veggie sides, like potato salad and corn on the cob. That's more fruit and vegetables. You could have like two vegetables, like green beans and peas and some kind of French fries, or you know, sweet potatoes, that's 2 vegetables. You could have green beans with bacon and cornbread, you know, with some meat of some sort. You could eat more trail mix. That's going to give you more fruit and veggies. I have a good smoothie recipe. 1 cup frozen fruit, but it can be fresh, frozen, or canned. 1 yogurt. I get those little ones at Dollar Tree. And 1 cup milk, and just blend them in the blender. You can make pies, fruit and yogurt. That's more fruit. And harvest seeds out of your fruit and veggies. Okay, now, 9. Stockpile food in the freezer. Okay, stockpile food in the freezer. What did I do with that? Mainly what I stockpile in my freezer is I stockpile lunch meat, cheese, margarine, and meat. That's what I stockpile in my freezer. I want to stock my freezer full of that so that I don't run out of meat. Mainly is what, and I you know, I want to stockpile margarine because you need margarine. So mostly I have perishable food in my freezer that's going to help me in my meal plan. Okay. So I'm going to stockpile my freezer full of lunch meat and cheese. I'm going to stockpile my freezer full of bacon, sausage, anything I can think of that's going to help me with my meals. Okay, buy cheaper sources of protein. 1, to avoid running out. And so some of these might be at the beginning of the month. Buy 60 eggs. Stockpile milk, evaporated, because you can add some milk and some cheese, and that's why you want to stockpile cheese in your freezer. You can add some milk and some cheese in the place of protein, like if you're going to make gravy is the one I like. Cheaper sources, nuts and seeds, as you know, you can put those to up your protein a little bit. Like if you're having kind of a eggs and pancakes, you can put some seeds and some nuts and some raisins. Maybe go for cheaper sources of protein, turkey burger instead of hamburger, hot dogs, lunch meat and cheese, Vienna sausages, and tuna. Okay. Freeze all the leftovers. Okay, you want to freeze all your leftovers because you want to avoid running out of food. And one of the best ways not to run out of food is to freeze everything you don't eat. Another thing, if you freeze all your leftovers and you have some pizza in there or some soup, that's going to save you from eating out. So, and mainly though, to avoid wasting and to avoid running out of food. All right, here's one I'm famous for. Buy cheaper food. You might be going, well, you know what? I don't like cheaper food. Well, I don't like running out of food. Okay, this is a big box of cornflakes. I bought them for $1. It's cheaper, but it's good enough. Put some sugar, tea instead of soda pop. I buy these 100 bags for $1. These are probably the cheapest way to go. I try to find them really cheap. And then another cheap food is Top Ramen. And if you have some dehydrated vegetables, your Top Ramen is not that bad. Another thing is if you add a little pat of butter and some cheese to your Top Ramen. So find cheaper food. 12. Make bean meals. Not just like beans and ham hocks or beans and ham, but you can put beans and cheese on your salad. You can make pasta salad, you know, load it down with carrots, and you can use chickpeas and olives. Mexicali refried beans is a great bean meal, and you can just dip chips in that. You fry a couple pieces of bacon, and you save a little oil to take the bacon out. You fry chorizo, and then you refry your beans in a small amount of bacon. You refry your chorizo in a small amount of bacon fat, and you add your refried beans, and when they get hot, mash them down and add evaporated milk. I usually use 1 cup evaporated milk and 1 cup water, but I just pour the milk in little by little until I get a nice creamy bean. And so if you want burritos, you can go without cheese that way. If you want burritos, don't pour as much milk in, but if you want dip, pour a little bit more in. Baked beans with ham or bacon or sausage. So find some bean meals. Find cheap recipes. That's really going to help. All right, let's see. Now I want to give you a couple. I want these. This is going to go in with something that's going to come in sooner. But you want to, here's the one I want to give you guys. This way, it's French fried onion rings. You can fry zucchini, any kind of squash, chicken. So in bowl 1, you dip your vegetable in milk. And then you roll in flour, and bowl 2 is 1 egg, 1 egg and 2 tablespoons milk. So you dip your vegetable that's been placed in the flour, the milk, then the flour in the egg, and then you dip in breadcrumbs, and you can make your own breadcrumbs by toasting the bread and grinding it and then fry in oil. So this is an example of fine, good, cheap meals. Also, you can deep fry your dehydrated vegetables as well. So find cheap recipe. Eat all small amounts and scraps of food. Mainly the thing to do, what I do, is I eat all my scraps and small amounts of food as snacks. And you want to eat all your leftovers. Another thing you can do is you can save all your leftovers, and one night your meal is all your leftovers. Some people don't like leftovers, so you don't want to create meals that you don't like the leftovers. But if you freeze a couple of enchiladas, you know, after you eat them, or a couple pieces of pizza or something, you won't mind eating them. Buy the big size. Okay, I did videos years ago. Here is an example. These were $1. It's hard to find these, but I think it can still be done. Also, you can buy really big cans at Smart and Final. This is a big one, and it's cheap too, $1, so buy the big size. Okay. 16, group food by types. So, that way it's easier to see what you have. So if you know you have a lot of pasta, you don't need to look for pasta on sale. You want to eat the pasta you have. And then you can watch out for sales because you know what you have. Like snacks and crackers, all the beans, all the fruit. Group your food by types. Number 14, clean the refrigerator and freezer once a week. Avoid wasting. If your refrigerator and freezer is nice and clean, then you're going to be able to see what you have, and you're going to avoid wasting. Also, you're going to avoid thinking you have more food than you do. Like if your refrigerator is full of a bunch of old food that's not really edible, you don't have as much. Have you ever cleaned out your refrigerator and there's barely anything in there? And the last one that's super important is to avoid contamination. So right now with this coronavirus going around, we want to be as clean as we can in our own house and as healthy as we can in our own house so that something bad doesn't happen. Okay, number 19, create a list of food needed and try to find it on sale. So as you use something, create a list or have it in your mind because of your groupings. I need some vegetables or some cereal. Okay, this is a good one. I just started this $4 plan. And it was started by one of the followers. What did I do with them? I made $4 plans to show you too. What did I do with them? I've posted quite a few of them. Here they are. So if you're going to a food bank, or if you save back a little money, these $4 food plans, if you do the $4 as to the $5 and you buy big, then you're going to have an extra week. Number one, eggs for $1. You can buy those at Dollar Tree or Aldi's. Hot dogs, lunch meat, and cheese. And then you can keep those in your freezer. Number two, 1 can evaporated milk. That's really going to help you. 1 can tuna, 2 cans Vienna sausage, and 1 package top ramen. And so these are really quite a bit of food. Okay, and number 3 is turkey, bacon, 1 bag rice, 1 bag beans, and 2 packages of cornbread. I get them for about 40-something cents at Walmart. And so another thing is Mornings with Granny. She has $5 plans. I'm not going to try to do her plans. Just go to Mornings with Granny, and she's got about 4 of them, and she's using hers to create stockpiles. And it's food she eats all the time, and it's a really good channel. Okay, start a cookbook of easy, cheap recipes. So I have some ones that you could do. Potato salad, macaroni salad, corn chowder, onion rings, zucchini fried, French fries, with like chili on top, or, cheese and jalapenos, whatever you like. Salads, all different kinds of salads, macaroni and cheese. How I make it is I melt about 2 tablespoons of butter, and then I sprinkle flour, and I brown the flour, and I start adding milk little by little, and cheese, baked beans, good recipes, potato soup, and sweet potato fries, just for an example. Okay, so now you guys, 20 ways to combat the raising food cost. If you have any ways, please leave them on comments, because my followers read the comments. 99.9% of my followers are nice, and I really, really appreciate it. And the messages are really, really helpful. Like the $4 plan. Let's see if I can find the last one she did. Was under the here's one. And everybody has a different. Clara Garrison, 4 meals. 1 bag French fries, 1 bag hot dogs, top ramen, and loaf bread. This is really a good one. Here, I'll give you Kathy's Life. I write these in my notebook. For goulash, hamburger, can of tomato soup, cooked macaroni, and cheese on top. So you're going to, create some cheap recipes. Okay, you guys, please like, comment, and subscribe, and God bless you all.